Doing an Ironman has always been a personal goal of mine since I was 18. It wasn't for the medal, it wasn't for the title, but it was just to prove something to myself, prove what the body can endure, prove my commitment, and also legacy. Now, when they announced Ironman Ottawa, it just made sense to me. I was turning 40, I'm based in Toronto, so it's drivable. And in this video, I want to do two things. One, I want to share my race experience, and two, give you some practical advice if you're planning to race Ironman Ottawa yourself. Now, for me, I spent the last 2 years preparing for this race. I did Muskoka 70.3, I did the Toronto Waterfront Marathon, and I did Musselman 70.3 leading up to this. If you want race caps on any of those, check out my channel. Now, for me, the hardest thing wasn't race day. I knew I could run the race. The hardest part was training. Now, I have two young kids, I run a business, so there was a lot of logistics to this whole thing. For example, sometimes I'd have to drive my kids into their activities and just find a track behind the school and get my runs in, or find a pool nearby that I can swim. One time I even brought my trainer over to my mom's house to get in some mileage that way. So there was a lot of sacrifice through this entire build. Now, leading up to the race, we actually stayed at Lord Elgin, which I highly recommend as the hotel because it is right across from Confederation Park, where the Ironman Village is. A couple great reasons for this. One, that is where they actually pick you up because it's a separate drop-off place for the race start. So they pick you up by bus there. And also that's where you check in. So having a place that's always walkable takes a lot of stress away from the whole event. Here's a tip I did that I actually rode my bike to the bike check-in because you're gonna have to drop off the bike the day before directly from my hotel, which was a nice ride there. If you're gonna do that, bring your swim stuff because then you can do a taper swim right at the spot. Now, they do have a time early in the morning, which I missed, but there's easy access to the beach and they'll be setting up some buoys so you can practice your sighting while you're swimming. Now, the morning of, you gotta wake up nice and early, obviously. You're gonna catch the bus and it's gonna take you directly to the swim start. Now, I seated myself in the sub 110 time slot, which was pretty smooth. The entrance into the water was really smooth as well. There was 4 athletes entering every 5 seconds, so you don't have to worry about people kicking or punching you. The swim was also wetsuit legal, so the water conditions were amazing. Now, one thing that's interesting about Ottawa, about 1.5K in, you're gonna run into like a little shawl where you can actually stand up, you can reset. For me, I readjusted my goggles. If you have nutrition with you, you can take on nutrition. But it's basically this magic island in the middle of the swim course. The air was a little smoky because of the wildfires, which made things a little bit challenging, but the swim is fast and fair. I ended up finishing the swim in 1 hour and 7 minutes, and I came out 8th in my age group. Now the bike, this is the part I was the most nervous about, and for good reason. When I was getting my bike checked out by tech, they basically deemed it unrideable. It was a drivetrain and cassette issue setup that was completely off, but I still made it work. I started strong on the bike, but what ended up happening was my back just started to ache and I couldn't hold aero position for as long as I had trained. This likely probably came out to a fit issue. Now, this is the biggest lesson. The roads are rough, so expect that. For me, I actually lost both my carb bottles, so I had to rely on course nutrition. Now, this caused me to overhydrate a little too much, so I had to use the washroom about 2 times. Unfortunately for me, I haven't learned to pee on the bike yet, which I know some people in the top 10 age group do. Now, all that added up, and I ended up finishing the bike time in 5:39. This dropped me from 8th to 57th in my age group. My bike advice for Ottawa is to make sure that you use extremely secure bottle cages. Don't rely on 2 nutrition bottles. Dial in that bike fit early, because holding aero really matters on this course, and expect rough pavement. Now, despite the struggle riding through Ottawa and through the canals, it was a beautiful experience, and I was relieved to, but I have to say I was relieved to rack my bike and get on to the next thing. Now, for the run, this is actually where I was the most confident in. But about 2 kilometers in, both my quads and hamstrings just started cramping. I did ice, salt, hydration, but nothing helped it, so I had to dial my pace back. I wanted to run it at a 4:45. I ended up maintaining a 5-minute per kilometer pace, which was okay. And I also walked during all the aid stations to help relieve some of the cramping I was feeling. I still managed to hit a negative split on the marathon, which was great. So it moved me from 57th all the way back up to 19th in my age group. I ended up finishing the run at 3:43. My overall time was a 10:39, not my A goal, but I'm still happy for my first one. and put me 19th in my age group and also 166th out of about 1,800, 1,900 athletes. The cool thing about Ottawa, it does an excellent job with spectators. My wife got front row seats to be able to see me cross the finish line, which is really cool. There's also a little bell you get to ring when you're first time Ironman. So make sure you stop to ring that bell. And when I crossed the finish line and the announcer announced, "Joe, you're an Ironman," crossing it, I don't know what I overcame. I just started sobbing to myself, just relieved that it was over, but also happy that I actually completed everything. So my honest takeaway: Ironman Ottawa, it's a fantastic first Ironman if you respect the bike course, you secure your nutrition aggressively, dial in that bike fit, basically plan logistics early like any Ironman race, and understand the time commitment that it's going to take to get you there. Personally, I believe anyone can do an Ironman. It's well within reach, but you got to be willing to commit the time, the energy, and also the money, because it is an expensive sport. Now, I came from combat sports, so I didn't really fully respect endurance athletes until I went through 2 years of training and showed me what it really truly demands. Now, would I race another Ironman again? I don't think so, not given my time constraints with my family, my kids, and my business, but who knows. But I'm grateful I chose Ironman Ottawa. If you're planning this race, I hope this helped you, and enjoy the race.